Hi, and welcome to The Future is Bright, our November episode. We're super excited today because we have a special in-studio guest, Barbara Paliles, who is not only a speech pathologist by trade, but has started an amazing program called the Circle of Friends, which is now at over 200 schools throughout the United States. And Barbara, thank you for coming, first of all. We're super excited to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And we'd love to know everything about the Circle of Friends, the impact that it's had on families living with children who live with autism, and the people who are involved in the program who don't have a developmental delay of any kind. So tell us all about Circle of Friends. What does it do? What is Circle of Friends?
Okay, I'll tell you starting with the basic.
Okay.
Circle of Friends partners with school districts to provide a program of inclusion for students with autism and other developmental delays. And we do this at lunch when our kids with special needs are often isolated, ignored, sitting at special education tables, and we change that whole format. And we do that by having one student with special needs partner with two non-disabled students, and we train them to model and shape the appropriate language skills for our kids with disabilities. And what this does is it brings an understanding and acceptance of differences onto a school campus. Bullying decreases, and it creates a safer school environment, and also it filters out into the community, so it's really a beautiful thing to see.
Okay, well, so tell us a little bit about the differences between, let's say, Circle of Friends, as you've seen it at the high school campuses, which I think you said it started in Santa Monica?
Yes, Santa Monica High School.
2005, 2006?
1999.
All the way back then.
Yes.
Okay, so this program's been around for now the better part of almost 16 years, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could talk to us for those families who have, let's say, children in elementary school versus the ones that have the middle school students and then those with high school students, what are kinds of some of the differences between the levels of education and how the program plays out in those different situations now that you've moved into, let's say, the elementary school level?
Yeah. We became a nonprofit in 2005 because the program was making such an impact on the students. And in 2006, we actually started to work with a district at San Diego Unified.
Okay.
And they started insisting, as did other districts that came on with us, to bring this down to the elementary level, to start working with early intervention. And so what we found is that we're very excited that it's been very successful for elementary through high school. And it looks different because in elementary and middle school, you need to really observe students more. You need more of a structured kind of interaction activities, especially in the beginning. Whereas in high school, all you have to do is talk to a general education student about the needs of their friends with special needs, and then they're off and going. They're just sitting on campus, woven into the fabric of the school. You walk around and you don't know who has special needs and who doesn't.
Which is a great result for everyone.
Yes, what happens really is that the line between disabled and non-disabled is erased.
So talk to us about what the Circle of Friends program looks like at the high school level, which is, I think most people would agree, maybe the toughest segment of education for kids K through 12, the most potentially alienating if you are having trouble making friends, whether you have any kind of disability or not. So tell us kind of about how that program has played out on these campuses.
Sure.
Yeah.
What happens is students, I think one of the key parts that makes Circle of Friends unique from other inclusion programs, because there are others around the country, is that we really train the general education students. So they meet their friends in a certain location and off they go. And it's pretty effortless for the high school kids. People say, where do you get the general education students? You know, how do you get them? And I've learned over time that if we give general education students an opportunity to do something different, they rise to the occasion. So they took what was a simple lunch program and really helped me to create this multi-layered program that covers so many areas of what's needed for our kids. We have parent meetings that we recommend.
Okay.
We have off-campus activities that start to develop over time so that the ease of friendship between students with and without special needs is seen in the community.
Okay.
And so community members are now touched by this. We had students create a disability awareness presentation program, and that helped a lot in sensitizing a whole campus to differences. So it's really become multi-layered at the high school. I would say some of the toughest challenges are in middle school, when we all know middle school children are going through so much in learning about themselves and who they are.
Tell us about the participation that you've seen over the years and how it's increased, if it has, at, let's say, the high school level versus the middle school level, for kids wanting out of the general population to get involved in the program and sort of help out. Is there a discernible difference there, or have you seen that there's a large number of students who are interested?
Definitely a large number of students that are interested, and it's hard to put an actual number onto it, but what I did see at the high school and what's reported back to us, whether it's elementary, middle, or high school, is that when students are participating in Circle of Friends, their friends stop by at lunchtime, even if they're not involved in Circle of Friends. And what I also noticed was those kids that were not participating at all, who didn't have friends, they were still watching how easily students with and without special needs were communicating. And I do believe that their lives are really touched by this, that they go out into the world, especially from high school, and they develop a skill of no longer ignoring someone who may have a special need because they're uncomfortable, because it becomes part of the fabric of the campus. And so it's just another person who is recognized as wanting to have the same thing as everybody else. They want to be accepted for who they are, and they want to have friends.
How did the program start? What was the sort of impetus for, wow, we need Circle of Friends?
Circle of Friends started around a student in middle school.
Okay.
And when he came to high school, the program was not existing. So I was asked if I would be a part of this, and we started it with about 9 students. And there were 3 students with special needs and 6 non-disabled students who were part of this from their middle school experience. What happened was that the next year we went from 9 students to about 75 students.
Oh, wow.
And the next year we went up to 150 students.
Okay.
And the next year we were at over 250 kids. And then I stopped counting.
Okay.
Then it was just growing organically. And so it really is a grassroots program that in 2005, there were parents of kids both with and without special needs, and we decided we'd take it into a nonprofit and see if we could touch more lives out of the bubble of Santa Monica and really start to change our world.
So what's now we know the program is in California. If you can guesstimate, how many schools would you say within the state of California are currently utilizing Circle of Friends as a program?
Probably about 150.
Okay, so it's very California-centric thus far, but you've been branching out, right, into other states?
Yes, and our organization decided that we would first start to really solidify California so that we can let this become the model for the country.
Okay.
But very proudly, we are in New Jersey and Connecticut,
Oh, good.
New Mexico, and we just started Arkansas, and we were in where are we?
Are you in
Oregon
Washington?
and Washington, the
Yeah,
state of
great,
Washington.
great.
Bainbridge
Okay, so
Island.
it's branching out,
Yes,
and
it is.
becoming widely known.
Yeah.
You made a video about, I
did.
think, 2 years ago to try to help people get a glimpse of kind of the beauty of what this program really does for the students on both ends. And I think that we have that and we can show it. Is there something you'd like to tell us about the video, or that would help the viewers understand what they're watching?
Yes. When we made this video, our purpose, our goal, was to show that this was from elementary through middle and high school, that bullying is positively impacted so that it goes down on school campuses the stronger that the program grows, and also that there's longevity to this. This program doesn't just stop when kids leave high school. There's a major impact. So the students that you'll see that are being interviewed, the alumni of Circle of Friends, they're now 29, 30 years old. And so whether they have special needs or not, whether you're listening to the parents or to the alumni themselves,
Right.
you'll hear the impact that this had on them in their life, not just in high school.
Okay, fabulous. Well, let's take a look at the video. This was an 8-minute video produced by Circle of Friends to sort of give a little glimpse into the beauty and the blessings that this program has resulted in. Enjoy.
Thank you. A single rose can be my garden. A single friend, my world. Everyone needs a friend. Circle of Friends provides inclusion for students with disabilities on school campuses by establishing the understanding and acceptance of differences, building genuine friendships, decreasing bullying, and making a significant social impact within communities nationwide. Students with disabilities such as autism, Down syndrome, and other developmental delays are often ignored and invisible, sitting alone at lunch or sitting at a special education table. Circle of Friends was created to take students with special needs out of isolation and to include them into the fabric of the campus by building circles of non-disabled peers around them at lunch, where friendships begin to grow.
When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change, 'cause you're amazing, just the way you are.
In 1999, Circle of Friends started at Santa Monica High School. In 3 years, we were building circles around 42 students with special needs, and we had over 400 non-disabled peers participating in the program as well. It was really successful, and we found that not only the lives of individuals were changed, but also the campus climate started to change. So in 2005, we started a nonprofit organization. Circle of Friends has expanded from high school into middle and elementary schools. When students move from elementary to middle school, and then from middle school to high school, everyone is nervous, both students and their parents. Circle of Friends helps to take away that anxiety and provides a smooth transition so everyone is more comfortable. As of 2013, there were more than 100 chapters throughout California, as well as in Oregon, New Mexico, New Jersey, and Connecticut. More than 31,000 students have been impacted through the Circle of Friends program. What makes us unique is that general education students are trained how to model and shape these language skills and social skills for students with disabilities.
It doesn't just help you communicating with special needs students, it helps you communicate with anyone who's different from yourself.
Time for tonight's Making a Difference report, and it plays out in what can be one of the toughest environments there is, high school. And imagine how much tougher it can be for students with special needs.
It's part of a program called Circle of Friends, pairing special needs students with non-disabled peers for lunch dates.
Bullying has become a very serious issue in our country. What we found in the last few years is that advisors are reporting that bullying is decreasing once they started Circle of Friends on their campuses. A significant component of Circle of Friends is our disability awareness training. We teach general education students who are in Circle of Friends to give presentations to their peers, providing not only an understanding of disabilities, but also the tools of how to interact with someone who may be a little different.
I was shy, lots of classmates picked on me a lot. Then high school, I joined Circle of Friends and it changed my life.
The kids even also report that bullying has gone down on our campus. They don't feel that kids tease each other as much, and they've just become a lot more aware of people with special needs and understanding and accepting of them.
And our kids with disabilities are not mocked, they're not criticized, they're not bullied, but they are truly seen as a part of the diversity of our campus.
The disabilities, that line seems to disappear, and they see each other more as peers.
No one gets teased, and no one is under another person. We're all just equals, and we all love each other.
There's really no cliques in Circle of Friends. It's just one big group eating lunch together and having fun.
The general ed kids get a perspective that, hey, these kids are just like us. We're all teenagers. We have the same problems. We have the same hopes. We want the same things out of life.
Students both with and without disabilities need to develop social skills for future lives, jobs, relations, and independent living. In Circle of Friends, we're not really working with students, we're working with the next generation.
Circle of Friends is really helping to change the minds of our next generation of adults that are going to become our doctors and our lawyers. They're going to become our teachers, and they will have a sensitivity to differences and similarities that I think other people who aren't involved in Circle of Friends will not have.
The skills I learned in Circle of Friends taught me a lot about intercultural differences and differences that we all sort of share. And the communication skills that I developed while in high school because of the Circle of Friends program have really helped me to be successful in the business that I run today.
When I started out 9th grade, I was actually pretty shy. I didn't feel that comfortable making new friends, and being in Circle of Friends really, to me, gave me that confidence to speak up.
Now I'm in community college. It helped me to lose my shyness.
He became more confident, self-confident. He was happy.
Honestly, I've made some of the best friends I've ever had here at Circle of Friends.
I think the most monumental thing that's happened that I've seen over 6 years is that the whole campus has changed. I'm talking about the staff, the admins, their acceptance, their beliefs about kids that are different are completely different.
Yeah, my first experience, it's so amazing to be here.
Every single person on this earth, I have something in common with. Circle of Friends definitely taught me that.
If you're having trouble socializing, Circle of Friends is a great place to be.
The most amazing thing to me is the continued involvement in the friendships that I formed while in the program. Those connections that go beyond high school, beyond college even, really is a testament to the strength of this program and the friendships that it forms. I mean, these friendships are real.
What Robin got out of her first 7 or 8 years in Circle of Friends will affect her the rest of her life.
Makeup benefited from the heartfelt concern of students and the fact they were willing to learn how to step outside their comfort zones and say, I don't mind having a friend that's a little different.
I'm not lonely anymore, and when I do get some company, my life suddenly became whole.
At the end of the day, we're all people, and it's pretty easy to connect with someone over a conversation.
I would say that I have maybe 100 friends.
Circle of Friends changes lives, one friendship at a time.
So we've just seen your video, and I'm sure that you are pleased to share with us that the numbers that were reflected in the video are now outdated, and
Yep.
you in fact have a much greater participation in Circle of Friends. Is that right?
Yes. Okay. Every year we take a survey with the school districts, and they report their numbers, and we are now at 65,000 from last year.
Impressive.
That have been impacted in a positive way from Circle of Friends.
Okay.
And that's general education as well as students with special needs.
That's fantastic. So that's really impacting the schools on a pretty broad basis across the campus, which I imagine would, I have so much I want to ask you about, just not only the social skills aspect that we looked at in the video, but the bullying. The fact that when you sensitize a campus to bullying, what does a program like this really do for that campus in terms of watching the bullying numbers go down and just in general how students react to each other? What can you share with us?
Well, first let me just address the first part, which was social skills,
Sure.
and then bullying is really a broader issue. The social skills, we all need social skills.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of how a student does in schools, regardless of what university they go to, if they don't have an appropriate way of greeting people, if they can't stay on a subject or change a subject in a conversation, then they're not going to be able to hold a job, and they're not going to be able to be successful in developing friendships in their future. So what Circle of Friends does is it really provides that opportunity to practice those skills in a safe way, so that if a student with autism, for example, goes out of the parameters of appropriate social skills, it's in a safe place.
Okay.
And it can be supported and guided to be able to shape that to be more appropriate for their future.
And I would imagine the students who are engaged in lunchtime activities and parties and other sorts of campus life type functions, that those students are also realizing a great benefit. I'm talking about the students who maybe don't have a disability, that they're carrying forward skills like empathy and the ability to be sensitive to various social cues that are dropped, and how we are all so different, that it's a symbiotic relationship, really. It's a mutually beneficial way to sort of grow these kids and prepare them for school and for jobs. Have you had parental feedback about that, or what are the parents saying about this program?
Parents are saying things, come back to that one.
Yep.
But also what is so powerful is what we see from the testimonials in the video and from what these students are saying both in school and after school, because I'm very fortunate. A lot of them have maintained friendships with me. And many of them have maintained genuine friendships with the students with special needs that they met while they were in high school. The students without special needs, the neurotypical students as we refer to them in the autism world, they, I have to say, I think, gain more than our students with special needs because they are developing tools for themselves. They've developed the skills to interact with someone who might need to communicate in a different way. And so what's happened is they have taken these skills and they are hiring students with special needs, if they're in that position, or working side by side with a peer, not students with special needs, sorry. They're working side by side or hiring somebody as a peer in a job, and then they'll understand how to communicate with them and understand if somebody needs to express themselves in a different way because they have a different ability.
Well, I think the program is, to your point, very, very beneficial in that in the work world and in corporate America now, we've seen a greater effort to try to, again, sensitize the workplace and make it more friendly for people who have certain special needs or have sound issues or light issues or commotion issues, things like that. And so to take it back even a level and get into the school system where people are really learning how to interact with each other, taking those things into consideration, that's a huge benefit and a huge value for, like you said, people who are going to then be in a position of hiring, of working alongside. All of these things are issues that need to be addressed and spread beyond, I hope, the 200 chapters that now exist. But back to my parental question, what has been, it's kind of multi-layered, what's been the feedback from parents so far in response to this program about their children, neurotypical or not, in participating in Circle of Friends, and what could a parent or teacher do if they wanted to get this program started at their school?
Parents have said that this is probably one of the most powerfully impacting program for their child because they're really learning those, we say social skills, but they're really life skills.
Sure.
So it's how are they going to be as an adult. It's not how they're doing academically, because whether you get an A, a B, or a C is not going to build your success for your future. It might get you into a certain university, but if you don't have those life skills, you're not going to be successful.
Sure.
So parents recognize this for their child, whether they have a special need or not. And what was the other question?
The other question is, if I'm a parent or a teacher and I want to get this program started at my school, what would I do? Who would I reach out to?
Okay. So what we encourage parents to do is to contact the special education director in your district, because they're the ones that can really bring this in. What we do when we work with a district is our contracts are for up to 5 schools, so it's very cost effective. So you might be a parent of a child in elementary or middle or high school, but our goal is for that district to build a community of understanding and acceptance of differences. We know that when students move from one school to the next, there's high anxiety. When they go from middle school to high school, everybody's really nervous, and I think that may have been mentioned in the video, but it really is a way, it provides a bridge for comfort. For parents as well, because we as parents, we're nervous as can be for our kids to go from a safe elementary into a middle school, which is scary, and then into a high school where the numbers are pretty much tripled from where they were. We are afraid our kids will get lost. We're afraid somebody will bully them. It's just an issue that every parent goes through, whether you have a child with special needs or not. So it really does, it provides that comfort zone.
To your point about the anxiety associated with transferring between schools, you do gain a certain level of comfort when you're in an elementary school and you become sort of king or queen of the campus and you're at that upper level, and then you jump off and you're starting all over again. Yeah, you're at the bottom of the totem pole, and nobody likes that, whether they're in the workforce at the bottom of the totem pole and no seniority and starting fresh, or you're entering high school, which, like you said, is probably the scariest jump. And so to have an inclusion program like this is great. I'm wondering, how is there participation by the parents at all of, let's say, the neurotypical students who are deciding to get involved? I mean, is there parental involvement within the community once the program's been established in a district, let's say?
A parent can't really make their child participate in the program.
Sure.
They could encourage them, but it really has to come from that student. Whether they have special needs or not. It's really an interesting thing to see happening on the campus. But the way a parent can get involved on their campus is to really ask the advisors, how do I get involved in this program?
Right.
What can I do to support you? So if I can back up a little bit, talk
Sure.
about how we get involved in the schools, I'd like to kind of explain that.
Please.
So because there are so many schools, thankfully, and because we are touching so many lives, we in Circle of Friends don't go out and provide this program on the campus. What we do when we work with a district is we ask them to have 3 people from every school come to our workshops that we offer. And we work with them for a 3-year program. So we have 3 workshops in year 1, 3 workshops in year 2, and 1 in year 3. And what we do with those workshops is we train the staff from the school, 3 people. So we suggest a speech pathologist, a special education teacher, an administrator of some sort, maybe it's a counselor or a psychologist. But we've also had schools where it's only been run by general education teachers. So it's been a learning curve for me.
Sure.
And we have lots of teachable moments in Circle of Friends for us as an organization as well as for the kids. And what happens is those same people come to every workshop. And our hope is that, well, not our hope, we make sure it happens, that this program is started. We have unlimited phone and email consultation between workshops so that we're making sure that this program gets solidified. And then we as an organization can step back, because if we're coming in as a service, it means they have to keep us forever.
Okay.
And that doesn't transfer to the people on the campus. So we want this to be their program that they own on their campus with their students.
So let's say a program gets up and running and it's going smoothly by your estimation.
And growing.
And growing. We always want it to grow.
Yeah.
How would you judge the success of the relationships between, let's say, the students without disabilities and those who have some kind of challenge? How do you know if it's working, or how could you, is there some tangible measurement for, wow, we really see friendships? I mean, who reports about that? How do you tell?
First of all, we have once a district finishes their contract with us, we have what we call a chapter continuation agreement. So we don't let go.
Okay.
So if there's ever a challenge, the districts and the advisors get in touch with us. So what we do at the end of each year, aside from staying in touch with them during the year, is we send out surveys. So we gather information on how things are going. Are students feeling included? Are they facing challenges? How is bullying? We need to talk about bullying.
We'll go back to bullying.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but when you talk about the surveys that people are doing, who's responding to the survey? Is it a parent, a teacher, a student without disabilities, everyone?
We know that getting surveys back are nearly impossible if you look at the statistics on that. So because we've built really good relationships with the advisors, we send them out to advisors.
Okay.
And then if we don't get those back, we contact advisors, we'll email them, we'll call them, and we get a really good response. We get about an 80-85% return for surveys, and that's where we're knowing whether or not is your program growing? Is it solidified? What are your challenges? What are your successes?
And when you talk about bullying, I've heard numbers thrown around to the effect of, something like 75% of students with a disability have been bullied or experienced bullying on campuses as a regular matter of course, which is highly disturbing. But talk to us about what this program has done in terms of having a positive effect on bullying on campuses, if you've had feedback about that.
I don't consider myself an expert on bullying. I did present last year at the International Bullying Prevention Conference.
Okay.
So I learned a lot when I was there as well.
Yeah.
And what I learned was this is, first of all, a very big focus nationwide now. And bullying doesn't happen in one district and not another.
Sure.
It does happen. It's a global crisis. And the statistics you said are staggering. And the results of this are anywhere from students not attending school, withdrawing, to suicide. So we really have to address this. As I was working with Circle of Friends over the years, I came to realize that we really are an anti-bullying program as well, because we bring an understanding and acceptance of differences onto campuses. So what happens as part of our multi-layered program is that we have what we call either an ability or a disability awareness program, depending upon whether it's being presented at elementary or high school level.
Okay.
We've also brought in an anti-bullying assembly for 11th graders that was actually developed by one of our schools where they saw bullying happening. It was a very strong high school, and they still felt they needed to do more intervention. So they developed this, we partnered on it, I tweaked it with them, and then we brought it into Circle of Friends as part of what we do. So I have to say, just as an aside, one of the beautiful things about Circle of Friends is we link nationwide with our newsletter.
Okay.
So people in New Jersey are hearing what's happening in Central California. Some of them develop pen pals. Some of them share programs around. And that's what we try to do, is really share something valuable that's happening with other schools.
So we talked about how this program, you're really making a concerted effort to spread this program and its roots out into other states. How, for example, would, let's say, a school in Connecticut, or hopefully soon a school in Arkansas, be able to know what's going on in California? Who is that newsletter sent out to? If you're a parent, can you just sign up? What do you do?
Everybody can get that. You can access it from our website. Also on our homepage, it says sign up for the newsletter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and for our viewers, in case
Yes.
they'd like to go to the website, we should mention that let's say a school in Arkansas would like to know what's going on in California. They could go to the website, let's say, and get your your newsletter, or sign up for the newsletter and subscribe to it. So for our viewers, it would be circleofriends.org, which I think we've thrown up at the bottom of the screen for you all to see. And that website has fantastic information about how you can contact Barbara. You can contact a district about getting involved with this program. You can see the new, anything in the press, any new information would be up on that website, including their annual gala, which is coming up in April, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Barbara, back to kind of what we were talking about the newsletters. Do you find, is this a once a month thing that you're doing?
No.
No. Okay, how often?
Quarterly.
Quarterly. Okay, so quarterly newsletter. If there are difficulties in getting a program like this off the ground, or implemented into a school in a successful, meaningful way, what do you think those difficulties have been so far?
I think there's a lot of parents who want this program to come in. It always goes back to budget that districts have challenges with. But I have to say that the best way really is for parents to speak to special education directors, speak to the principals at the school. They're the ones that really have the budgets. And they're the ones with the pockets, and they know where the funding sources are. So we know, I think one of the biggest sources that's happening is that from the federal and state level, that there are sources for inclusion programs, sources for anti-bullying programs. And one of the things that I think is most powerful about Circle of Friends is that we're not a program that comes in and then goes out. And there are many wonderful programs out there that address bullying and does that. But because we're woven into the fabric of the campus, that really gets it changes the campus climate. And that's where we really serve as an anti-bullying program. It really just sensitizes a campus to differences.
Well, you have had a very positive response to this program, and it has grown exponentially over the years thanks to you and your hard work. And I understand that you have provided some photos of the different students in some of the schools so that our viewers can see kind of firsthand these relationships and kind of what it looks like on these campuses and how these campuses are becoming a much more friendly place and just a better place to be educated. So let's put some up on the screen if we can. We'll walk you through it if you could let us know. Looks like two kids having a whole lot of fun to me.
Yeah, they were at a bowling alley and they were just playing around.
Is that an event that's like a sanctioned event where you go out and have some social fun in the community, or how does that work? What are some
kind
of
of
the
going back to the multi-layers? One
Sure.
of the things that we encourage is activities in the community,
Okay.
so that community members really see how effortlessly students with and without special needs interact.
Okay.
And they're just amazed by it because in our society, typically we kind of we used to walk around and see someone with special needs, whether they're in a wheelchair, whether their behaviors are different, whatever, and maybe turn the other way and not look. And what happens in this situation when we're in the community is the community members are actually seeing kids just interacting like that, having a good time.
Well, let's go to the next one. We see now that there are bowling activities. This almost looks like an on-campus, maybe a party or a gathering that was done.
I think they just got together at lunch to say, take a picture of us.
And that's a mix of our neurotypical and also some students who have special needs.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Do you know what campus that's from?
Yes.
Where is that?
San Benito High School in Central California.
They look like they're having a lot of fun.
They are.
And what else? Let's see what else we have. Oh, what's this one?
Well, you've taken us to Arkansas.
Okay, newest.
And that is our latest chapter. Yes.
Is it actually up and running?
It is up and running like within 1 week. They really laid the groundwork for this. They, the special education director spoke to principals.
Okay.
She spoke to teachers. She took the time to speak to the students. And then when I went out for my consultation, I went to all the campuses, met with the kids, and actually spoke to the superintendent. And
up and running immediately.
You know, it's not me. I have to say, it's not me that has made this program go. It is because of the efforts of the office staff that has worked so hard to bring this out, program facilitators that work with the districts. Ultimately, it's the advisors that make it happen, and when you take it from us to the advisors, then you have to give credit completely to students because they're the ones that make it happen. It's not us.
Well, those students look like they're having a good time and are fully engaged in a program. And I see you in the back of that photo.
Yeah, they asked me to get in.
Yeah, they had a special guest. Let's see what else we have. So that's Arkansas. Is that also Arkansas?
It's also Arkansas. And actually, they did a really cool thing. You can see that they're holding
looks like a football.
Little footballs. And so at their homecoming game, they had little footballs that were having the school logo on one side and Circle of Friends logo on the other side.
Oh, fantastic.
And they tossed them out into the stands.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just community events, but sporting events at the schools, which I know is a big deal for sort of melding students together because there's that old-fashioned, maybe outdated view of, oh, well, those are the sports guys, and these are the cheerleaders, and these are this groups. It's very cliquish. And so it seems like Circle of Friends is really helping to break that down and bring everyone together, and I like seeing an event like that.
And I just want to bring up that I just returned Saturday from consulting up in Bainbridge, which is near Seattle, and I met with the principal, and we were bringing out that he doesn't want the cheerleaders and the sports guys, that this is one campus.
Right.
And many schools deal with this. And what's beautiful is that I hear from many principals, I don't want to hear special ed and gen ed. We are one campus. We are one school. We are all students of this community. And that's what this helps to create.
Well, the fun thing about this football event here is that it's been said that two things. Generally, sports and or music are the great equalizers. And so when you get somebody and you get a group of people into a music event or let's say theater or sports like this, we're all the same. Everybody's out there to have a good time and cheer on whoever or whatever they're cheering on, and that's a great activity. Do you find that the sports activities are something that some of the campuses are getting involved with? Other, expanding beyond, let's say, just the lunchtime sort of typical scenario?
It goes beyond sports. I think I've heard from schools where they're going to, they go in the community for a lot of things, but they go to a play that's being shown, or they'll go to a band concert or an orchestra concert. Wherever things are happening, friends are going with friends.
Okay,
and it
so
doesn't matter
making friends everywhere.
Yes.
Let's see if we can the next one. So this looks like another social event, doing something. Somebody's
another
having fun.
social. This is back in Pocahontas, Arkansas.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Can we see?
And this is middle school.
Oh, these are young kids here.
These are young kids, and this is in Hollister.
Okay.
And these are the little guys.
And how do you find that the program's being received at the elementary level? Are they having fun? And
you know, when we started, I was asked to do this in elementary, and I would say to the special education directors, our expertise is middle and high school.
Right.
And this is where we're focused. And after 2 districts in the same year said to me, well, that's okay, but we want this at elementary. I said, let's take our expertise of inclusion, your expertise of elementary, and let's pilot for a year. It's been very successful. So it looks differently at it looks different at an elementary school because there's much more supervision and there needs to be activities that are more planned for them.
Right.
But in middle and high school, some middle schools, they need activities, some don't, and I'm all for just get them together and let them interact like every other teen.
Right. Well, it looks like it's had a very positive effect. I mean, they look like they're having a great time. And I, as a parent, I'd want to see that happening from the earliest age possible because you want your kids to be friendly kids and people who are caring and who reach out to other students, whether they're neurotypical or not.
Yes.
So
and I want to add on that there is so much intervention and so many early intervention approaches that are hit for our kids with autism and with other special needs. We hit them young, and there's many, many programs. But the reason Circle of Friends evolved was at the middle high school level is that's where programs often drop off. So this program is so critical for our older kids. I believe strongly it's very important for our elementary kids. But I also feel that we really need to not forget that these kids, as they grow, it's
Still
not
need
going away.
support.
Autism is not going away.
Sure.
And so Down syndrome is not going away. So what do we do as these kids get older to help them develop those social and life skills?
would you say that that's one of the key points that makes this inclusion program and Circle of Friends specifically different than maybe some of the other programs that are out there, is that it's got an emphasis at the high school level and an emphasis on those older kids?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so how is it different?
I believe that all of the components that we have are what makes us stand out. In addition to that, every one of our program facilitators that go out and train with the districts, they're all from special education, whether they're speech pathologists or special education teachers.
Okay.
So they're very familiar with what happens on a campus, very familiar with what happens in those individualized education planning meetings, the IEPs, and so we speak the same language. So I think that's a really critical part. I think our disability awareness is critical. I believe strongly that when we build circles around a student with special needs, we don't just do it one day a week. Our goal from an organization standpoint is that it's a minimum of 2, if not 3 days a week, so that our kids with special needs have multiple friendships. I have more than one friend. I bet you do too.
Yeah, of course.
So why would we build just a one-on-one friendship one time a week or a month? So we build multiple friendships.
Okay, going along with that idea, let's say you've got a group of students who are excited and want to become part of the program and they want to become someone's circle. What do you do to train those students or to sort of induct them into the program so that they're better prepared to be friends?
I think in the beginning I said that every school looks different.
Right.
And, well, she was in our video. And so Robin has certain special needs. So I would talk to this group about the needs of Robin for probably 2 to 3 minutes because I want them up and going and out. So what we talk about is confidentiality, that everything we share is really about looking at these general education students as young adults, no longer as kids, but as general education students. And so when, again, you give them that opportunity of maturity, I have found they always rise to it, whether they're in elementary school, middle, or high school. So I talk about confidentiality, I talk about commitment, that you are promising to come every Tuesday at lunch. So your friend who has autism or some other special need, they're waiting for you. And they go to sleep the night before saying, I'm having lunch with Johnny and Susie. They get up in the morning, they're ready to go to school because they know that they're having lunch with you. So that commitment from a teenager is really difficult. but they rise to that occasion. And then I talk to them a little bit about Robin and tell them a little bit about their special needs, and I say, come Tuesday at lunch and you'll meet Robin and go to lunch.
Okay.
And then over the school year, I'll meet with them again, and I'll check in with them, how are things going. I'll observe them at lunch. As a speech pathologist, this is a service delivery model that has been backed up from many, many areas. We are evidence-based, we're best practice, and that's what a lot of districts are looking for. So we have the backup for that. If we have time, I can tell you more about it. But what we know is that this program works. And so get out, go do it, and start interacting with your friend at lunch, and I'll keep an eye on you. I'll watch you. I'll come intervene and sit down and
give advice.
And share with them. And then, however, there are some advisors who have chosen to take 2 to 3 weeks to train all of the new general education students, maybe showing them the video, talking to them, and maybe they'll take 2 weeks at lunch or 3 weeks at lunch. So it's very individualized. For me, get up, meet the kids, and go. But many prefer to really train.
Okay, no, that's okay. I don't mean to cut you off. It's exciting,
It is
and I have so
exciting.
many questions about it. Is let's say you said it's a very individual sort of response on a campus by campus basis. If I'm the advisor who's in charge of getting this program set up at a particular school, let's say somewhere in Arkansas or one of the next states that we're going to start up,
or California,
is it my decision to, let's say, call a General Assembly and say, kids, this is the program that we're going to start, and if you're interested, come and talk to me? Or is it ever a situation where you've got a great circle of kids already from the general population, the general education population involved, and now you find that they are training each other more so at the high school level, where it's a peer-to-peer training situation? Hey, I'm doing this. Johnny, come get involved. You know, you might like this too. Do you see evidence of that?
Within the manual, we have a section that is disability awareness, a disability awareness packet. And what we actually do as program facilitators is train advisors on this disability awareness or ability awareness for the younger kids. And they go and they train their students. So they take some of the stronger students on campus that are involved in the program, and they train them on this disability awareness or ability awareness, and then they present to their peers. So on a high school campus, for example, there would be 4 non-disabled students and 1 student with a special need who would then go into all 9th grade classes. And they would do about a 20-minute presentation, really sensitizing to differences, talking about IDEA, talking about bullying, and things to do if you see bullying happening on your campus. Our kids need to know what to do with this. Nobody knows what to do. And so to actually get involved to try and stop someone from bullying another student, not only can they get hurt, they can hurt someone. So being a bystander and just using the words, stop, you can't do that on our campus, are really valuable ways. And that's part of what we talk about in this training, where students are presenting to their peers.
So in essence, you basically have a student or a few students who are ambassadors to the program, who then can share the word, or at least the awareness, if other students aren't getting involved, about what the program does and what they're seeing around campus. And I think you mentioned earlier something I thought was fascinating, and maybe more people want to know about it. There are various apps now that you can download to your phone that if you witness bullying, you have a person, a safe person, you can text and then speak to them about it, because I think you said really standing by and doing nothing is the same as
contributing to being bullied.
It is. So what are some of the programs that you're aware of, or are there any apps whose names you know that might be a place people can go?
Sure. The one that I learned about when I was at the anti-bullying or bullying prevention conference was called Stop It.
Okay.
And what I think they did was they actually worked with a district. And then the district would bring this down to the different schools. And for the middle school and high school, where most likely the kids have cell phones, they have this app that can go on, and they actually help the school help the students set this up, and the students identify who that safe person is, because only a student knows who they're comfortable with. So that might be a counselor, it might be a parent, it might be a teacher. So they set this up on their phones, and how they do it, I don't know, but I thought it was a really good way that they can be involved also, another channel for reporting.
Absolutely, and it's a way for students who are witnessing bullying to not fear retaliation, because they then have a separate third entity where they can go to and talk. So if you're interested, I'm sure there are other apps like Stop It. You said it was called Stop It?
Yes.
That they can go to. You can check it out online. I'm sure Google will pull up lots of different programs like this. And they're all geared toward stopping bullying, which we all have that same goal, to make our campuses safe, our kids safe,
our world safe, because it's a global issue.
It is, and it's not age specific, so we're anxious to bring to light any program that helps contribute to the stopping of bullying.
Yeah.
But beyond that, we have a new, well, not a new program, but you have a gala coming up in April, right?
Yes,
that
we
we're
do.
pretty excited about. You did this last year. What number are you on now? Is this your third?
This is about our seventh.
Okay,
our seventh gala.
And what's going on? Tell us all about it. I heard from a little birdie that it's at La Meridian Delfina in Santa Monica in April. So what's going to happen at that gala? I'm sure people are excited to attend.
Well, we're really excited because it gives us an opportunity to honor we used to have a Student Leadership Award, a Founders Award, and a Social Impact Award. This year we are having a Founders Award, Social Impact, and we're having a Global Inclusion Award. Because Special Olympics, because the World Games for Special Olympics happened in Los Angeles, we thought this was prime time to honor somebody who was really, behind the scenes making this happen. So we are honoring Jeff Carr, who was the COO of that event. And he will be doing the Global Inclusion Award we have for him. Our Social Impact Award is for the head of CBS, the general manager of CBS.
Okay. Doesn't he do Stephanie's Day?
Yes, he does.
Which is a great event that I think just recently took place in Studio City.
Takes place on the CBS lot.
On the CBS lot, exactly.
We have about 5,000 people that show up.
I remember. It's a well-attended event, so that's a great thing.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
so we feel he's made such a difference for so many years in different states that he's run this after his daughter who has autism.
Sure. So will there be a silent auction, a live auction?
We have a silent auction.
Okay.
And actually last year was our first live auction. And the live auction actually was more geared on supporting our Circle Summer program and supporting the program in Los Angeles community, in LAUSD.
Fantastic. So do you have a specific date yet in April?
We do, April 30th.
April 30th. Okay, so now you've heard it, folks. April 30th at La Meridian Delfina in Santa Monica. If you're interested in more information about the gala, you can reach out to Barbara on the website, or you can go to circleofriends.org, and I did say Circle O Friends. I'm not making an Irish joke. And you can look at the information about the gala, which I imagine will evolve between now and April to be a little more inclusive. You can find information about tickets, is that right? How much are the individual tickets?
$175.
Okay, so $175 if you have the capacity to donate something for the silent auction, or you want to get involved in a different way, whether it's time, talent, or treasure, you can also reach out to the website and just click under Contact Us, and there are lots of people there to help you out.
We're a small organization, and that any kind of help is really appreciated,
of course.
Greatly appreciated. There have been some people who have been table sponsors, and then that gives us that opportunity to invite more of the families of kids with and without special needs to be able to come and be a part of this, because
and
they
what
can't
does it
afford
cost to sponsor a table?
A table, $2,500 is a table.
Okay, fantastic.
And that's for 10 people.
So a table would be for 10 people. We can use that to invite some of the students of Circle of Friends to attend who might not otherwise be able to do that. And we'll have more information for you between now and April about this gala as it evolves. I'm sure it'll be a great event. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And we really thank you for coming on our show today. You have been fabulous and a really fun guest, and I've learned a lot about this
It has been
program.
truly an honor to be included, to share information about something that is changing lives, and that's what it is. I think we all are just here to make a difference in the world and make it a better place.
And make friends.
And make friends.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching today. We have been so honored to have Barbara Poliles as our guest, and we look forward to having her again. If you join us on our December show of The Future is Bright, we'll be talking about families living with autism and the holidays. How can a family prepare for the noise and the commotion and the Thanksgiving meals and the Christmas meals and the Hanukkah meals and whatever kinds of meals you're doing, and everything that goes along with kind of the stress of the holidays and how to prepare for it. So we'll look forward to having another show soon. And Barbara, we can't thank you enough. You've been really wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure.